See, when you have a world where the women are pursuing the men sexually, you're gonna have some issues. Expecting a man of today to be sexually disciplined is like expecting someone with a food disorder to be disciplined on how they eat. But everywhere they go is a smorgasbord. Everywhere they go is a buffet. Everywhere they go is an abundance of food, and every last bit of it is free.
Marcus, the women who just had the baby just did the same thing. But Marcus, you trying to justify it when Shannon said the same thing. The lady who was talking, she said the same thing. She said, "Oh, but what about the bags I have? What about the life I'm living?" Just because you have a lifestyle attached to that does not mean that's right. Does not mean that most people would get those results. It's not right. That's basically saying, she's like, look at the perks that I get to having a kid and going after a man like this. You're basically saying the same thing. It's wrong.
But that still shows insecurity. I'm not saying that men aren't tested, but those are your buttons that people get to push. It's like you are in control of your buttons, not the people that push them. So I get people who maybe have not lived that life, but I've lived that life, whether it was with my family or whether it was with a relationship of the people that I was interacting with, or whether I was friends with another teammate's girlfriend, or whether with my son, or with my basically like my brother, my husband's brother. So going to AAU camps, fine. I've seen it, but again, that's why you talk to your children so they know people are going to show up. People gonna show up. Whether you agree to it is on you. If you don't have discipline and you can't say no, then that's on you. That's not on the people who are trying to test you.
So straight men being attracted to women is insecurity.
That's not what I said.
That's not what she said.
That's not what I said. You can be.
That's not what she said, bro.
You could be attractive. You could be attractive, and you could be attracted to a woman, but your ability to touch and say no is based on your discipline. And if you don't have it, then you don't have it. And if you let people touch you just because they standing outside of a VIP with a big ass, that's on you.
Can I ask you a question?
I want to say, Marcus, let me ask Marcus a question real quick. Marcus, you don't think it would be more beneficial to teach men how to dominate a woman's mind first over her body? You don't think like teaching men like, okay, there's a way you can
that's not what we're talking about.
Look, but let me finish. You can get this woman to do what I can get you to do what you want to do. And that is more prize than the women you have underneath your belt. Because a lot of these boys, when you see these younger boys from birth, when I see these men saying certain stuff to boys who's not raised that way, these boys be like, whoa, they don't find that attractive. A lot of boys is not instantly horny and wanting to knock older women down and wanting to fuck everything. They be talking about girlfriends. If you look at them just from their original development before the world has an effect on them, when you see them in first, second, third grade, they want to bring these girls flower. They want to treat them nice. They want to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? It's not until, and I've noticed this as I'm looking at the schools, the older it get, the worse it get with men, with these little boys, like not saying, oh, I want a girlfriend no more, but I'm trying to see who I can knock down. How many girls I can get underneath my belt that way. They're not no longer thinking about dominating their mind. If most of these men was thinking about dominating a woman's mind over dominating her body, these type of women wouldn't even have the power that they have.
This is where we throwing off that. We're talking about a relationship.
I feel like he's agreeing with that fact. I was just talking about the point of like temptation and the testimony after the temptation. I think there's a lot of men who I know, like literally have worked with them and they'll be like, I'm going home. They're not even going to put themselves in a VIP with drinks and drugs and girls with big asses because they know that they are a human, they are a man. I won't speak to a man's ability to, or when he's attracted or when he wants a girlfriend, because I don't have that genetic makeup. But I know men who understand their genetic makeup who don't put themselves in certain positions. I'm not talking about you as far as what comes around you. Like you said, a parade. It's nothing you could do about a parade. That was a part of your duty. It's nothing you could do about women showing up. I would hope that there was advocates around you to make sure that stuff like that doesn't happen.
So let me ask you a question. Do you have that same energy for women when they get pregnant by Pookies and Ray Rays?
I have that same energy for men who allow Pookies and Ray Rays to be even a thing. That's not what women.
Wait, hold on.
I can't talking about Pookies and Ray Rays. That's y'all responsibility.
Danielle, that's not what he asked.
Danielle. My question to you, you're talking about men holding themselves accountable.
Yeah, because Lapeef talked about the fact that God holds men to a higher standard.
Yeah, but that's thrown out the window.
How?
I'll explain. If you believe in the Bible and you believe it's God, man, then woman, once that man fell into sin, sin fell on the earth. The plan is shook up now. You ladies don't operate God, man, woman. Because if you ladies operated God, man, woman, all of you women, every last one of you women will be under a man's covering. But you're not.
But the men that you want to cover women are Pookies and Ray Rays based on y'all not having a hold on the men in our community. That's your responsibility, just like it's a woman's responsibility. We all have rights, roles, and responsibilities. It's not about blame. It's not about blame.
You're blaming men.
Well, you have. Let me finish. It's not about blame, shame, guilt. It's about responsibility. So we could point fingers all day and say it's this and that. As a man, it's the community's responsibility of men to make sure that Pookies and Ray Rays don't exist, so that my daughter doesn't have sex with a Pookie and Ray Ray. Just like it's on my responsibility as a woman to make sure that my daughter isn't whatever equal name to Pookie and Ray Ray you want to use for women, so that your son doesn't have to deal with that. It's my responsibility, and it's the women's responsibility in that community. A Pookie and Ray Ray, you need to make sure those don't exist.
So are you currently married right now?
No, I'm divorced.
Okay. Do you have a daughter with your ex-husband?
Yeah, I have a daughter and a son.
Okay. And you chose your daughter and son to no longer see the union of a family?
No, my son and daughter, first of all, that's a blanketed statement. Second, I would like to point out that divorce isn't always a bad thing. If divorce is the best option for the children, then that's what's going to happen. And also, I have a different situation. I had a son who passed away, and that changed.
I don't want to go into all the details.
I just want to point out, because I feel like a lot of times it's like I
don't want to go into your business. Listen, I'm just saying.
Well, you went in my business. You went in my business when you said I made a choice. So I'm gonna.
I said I don't want to go all into your business. If you want to share, go right ahead.
Moving right along. A parent and two parents should make sure that.
I told you they'll never answer my questions.
Bro, you jacked up the argument when you asked her that question.
The first question I asked her that she didn't answer.
I did answer. I said it is on the responsibility of the men in the community and culture.
That's not what I asked you.
You asked Pookie about Pookie and Ray Ray to make sure that they don't have a child with that.
No, I didn't.
That's not what he asked.
What did he say?
He said, do you have the same energy for the women who decide to get pregnant by Pookies and Ray Rays? The same energy that you had.
I don't. I have the energy for the people who raise Pookie and Ray Rays, and I believe men should make sure that women don't have to deal with that.
All right, so with that being said, then it kind of throws out your argument in regards to how you look at the men in these situations, because you're basically saying that the men they're accountable for the women that they encounter, while at the same time saying that the women are not.
I didn't say they were responsible for the women they encounter. I said they're responsible for the actions they take based on the women they encounter.
Right. So then that would mean right. So that would mean So that would mean that you would have to have that same energy for the women who sleep with dudes that they don't have no business sleeping with. That's what he was asking you. Do you have that same?
Yes. Then yes, I do, because I have a daughter too, and she's going to get the same understanding about her body and who can touch it and who can't.
No. Take your daughter out of it. Do you? If a woman came up to you and said, "Man, Danielle, I was screwing around with this fuck nigga, and I got pregnant by him," would you tell her the exact same thing?
Yeah, I'd be like, why would you get pregnant by? First of all, I tell women all the time, stop letting these men touch you, period, just because they blinked at you. So that's how I feel about accountability for women.
So let me get to what I was trying to go, so we don't lose where I was going. All right. So, well, I'm talking to you, Danielle. So I just wanted to know, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just propping my phone up.
Okay, so you have a son and you have a daughter, and sorry, condolences for the child that you lost. So your son, does he live with you? So how is he supposed to grow up to not be this Pookie and Ray Ray when he's not even in the care of his father? Like, how would a man be responsible to make sure that child grows up to be the model citizen that you expect that child to be as a man when he doesn't have the tutelage of a man?
Well, my ex-husband and I have 49-51 custody. So we have about 7 days difference of how much they spend with me and how much they spend with their dad. And that was just so we could maintain our ability to parent outside of two households. So it's not that he's not in his dad is not an influence or in his life. It's just that we don't share the same household. Now, is a parent going to be different in two parents going to be different for a child in a single household? Yes. That's not my reality at the moment. So I'm doing what anybody would do, which is make the best of the situation.
No, but that's not. But you can't. That's not what you're doing, because you're talking about other people who didn't have the tutelage to grow up. You're saying it's our responsibility to make sure Pookie and Ray Rays don't exist.
Yeah.
Well, we can't make sure a Pookie and Ray Ray don't exist with 50% access to the future Pookie and Ray Ray. We don't build men up at a 51 or less % access rate. That's not how you build men. You ladies constantly think that y'all can create this utopia where y'all have the kids half the time up to all of the time, and yet boys are still supposed to develop into men. I don't understand why y'all think that's possible.
And I think you men like to say things like that don't make absolutely 1% of sense at all.
You just said that they just protect themselves. Why can't she just tell her sons to protect themselves the same way you would do if they were yours?
Protect themselves.
And also my son goes, like, there was a point in time when my son reached the same.
I said, you're not going to be able to do nothing for these boys. We was talking about the NBA.
Well, that's very, I feel like that's very.
There's a total different world that these boys are entering into.
Okay,
but you wouldn't know that.
Y'all talking over each other. Hold up. Let Daniel go ahead and finish.
Get in the conversation because it's
Darwin, you go ahead. I'm gonna just let Danielle finish her sentence and then
go ahead. I was just going to say, specific to my situation, when my son got a certain age, he shifted from being with me full time and then going to his dad full time because he was at a space where his dad needed to be more present for him. As a mother, it's not about whether I miss my baby or not. It's about my son being around an environment that is helpful for him. I can't teach him how to be a man. I did my part. I nurtured him. I reared him. I put him in good community and made sure there were good people around him. He knows his father. He has a great life. When he went to go move with his dad, that was the best thing for my son. Not necessarily me. Obviously, I missed him. So when you say stuff like you women, you don't know what you women are doing. I think you've taken a huge pessimistic approach to not being in a relationship or not being married to their father. There are other opportunities and outlets for things to work.
So are we not at a deficit with young Black boys in the Black community developing into men?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying I'm overstepping, right? I'm making I'm painting with a broad brush. Ma'am, majority of boys lack a positive male role model in their lives in the Black community.
So be one.
Who says I'm not?
I'm not saying you are.
The point I'm making is this. Listen, you're telling us it's our job to rid the world of Pookies and Ray Rays so women don't have to worry about vetting a Pookie and Ray Ray.
That's not what I didn't say have to worry about vetting. I said that's not their encounter. It is and I'm talking about culturally as Black people. It is the men's responsibility in the culture and community to make sure that boys are turning into men. It's not just about the father in the home. It's about the entire community.
If we make sure no Pookies and Ray Rays existed, what vetting would you ladies need to do?